Hello, second graders. I hope that math lesson 10.1 went okay for you. Today, we're going to go ahead and start 10.2. But before we do that, I wanted to show you what we would be doing if we were at school. If we were at school, we would actually be walking around our classroom and collecting some data. We might be asking our friends some questions and recording it in a tally mark like I did here on my tally chart. You can see I went around and was asking people in my family what was their favorite dessert and recording a tally mark for each person who answered. But let's go ahead and get into lesson 10.2. You should have already watched the interactive lesson. And if you notice in the interactive lesson, it looks a lot like our listen and draw in our math book. So to start off, it says use the tally chart to solve the problem. Draw or write to show what you did. Now, down here, the question says, Mr. Martin's class made this tally chart up here. How many more children in his class chose sports than chose reading as their favorite hobby? And you should notice those words, how many more, right? Those are key words. We've talked a lot about those three words, not just how many more tells you that we need to subtract. So how many more chose sports than reading? How many more means subtract. So sports, 5, 6, 7. So 7. Then reading 1, 2, 3, 4. And remember, how many more means to subtract. So what is 7 minus 4, friends? Go ahead and write that answer right there. Another way that we can collect and show data is through our new learning today. It's through something called a picture graph. And a picture graph is just like a tally chart, except that it uses pictures to show the data. So notice instead of March having 4 tallies, March has 4 pictures. Instead of April having 3 tallies, April has 3 pictures. And one of the important things on a picture graph is that it has a key. The key tells us how many each picture stands for. See that right there. So here in the key, it says that each soccer ball stands for 1 game. So in March, there were 4 games played. How many were in June? Did you get 7? It looks like there were 7. So let's practice using a picture graph. It says use the picture graph to answer the questions. So we're going to look at the picture graph here for our favorite snack. Notice their choices were pretzels, grapes, popcorn, and apples. And if we look at the key, each smiley face stands for 1 child. So you're going to go ahead and read questions 1 and 2. And put those answers there on the line. Notice number 2, look here, how many more? And what did those words, how many more, mean? Remember, they mean to subtract. So how many more chose pretzels than apples? This might be a good place to pause the video and answer those 2 before you move on. Then let's move over here. Here's a second picture graph. We're going to use the picture graph to answer the questions. This one is the number of pencils that friends have. Notice Alana has 3. Kiana has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Dante has 4. And Brad has a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the key tells us that each pencil does stand for 1. So when it has the 8 pencils, that just 8 pictures, that means he has 8 pencils. So I want you to go ahead and read 3 and 4. Notice in 3, it's asking you about how many pencils 2 friends have. How many pencils do Alana and Brad have? So if you want to know how many they have together, I would think about that. Are you going to add or subtract? And write your answer there. Number 4, look what I see. How many more? How many more pencils does Kiana have than Alana? And remember, how many more means to subtract. So subtract Kiana's I'm sorry, make sure you're subtracting Kiana minus Alana's pencils and write the answer here. This again might be a good time to pause the video and do those two problems. When you come back, you're going to look at number 5 and notice that's math on the spot. So you can go ahead and watch that video whenever you're ready. You can pause and do it now or at the end of the lesson. And you're going to go ahead and watch math on the spot and make sure that you're doing your work here. Now let's look at number 6. It says Christy has 7 pencils. Write 2 sentences to describe how her number of pencils compares to the data in this picture graph. So let's just imagine that there was another friend here, Christy. Let's say her name was right here. And Christy has 7 pencils. So let's just imagine there are 7 pictures. Okay. What sentences could we write to compare the amount of pencils she has to the amount of pencils someone else has? I have a good idea. So when I'm looking up here, I see Alana only has 3. So I might say Christy has blank more pencils than Alana. Because I know Christy has more, right? Christy has 7, and Alana only has 3. So how many more does Christy have than Alana? Well, I'd start at 3 and count up until I got to 7, right? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So Christy has 4 more pencils than Alana. I'd like you to go ahead and pause the video and see if you can come up with another comparison sentence to write there. Sorry, I thought I skipped a page. Then we're going to come over here and we're going to look at the last page in our lesson. Here we have a different picture graph of their favorite balloon color. Their choices were green, blue, red, or purple. And notice the key says that each balloon stands for one child. Our question says, which 3 colors? 3 colors. That's probably going to be pretty important. Which 3 colors were chosen by a total of 13 children? So here what I want to do is find the 3 different colors that add up to 13. So you might want to put something like this on your paper and start counting and seeing which ones get to 13. Like if I tried purple, 1, 2, 3, 4, put 4 there. And maybe red, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You know what? I could try to add 1 more, but look, what is 7 plus 14? It's 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, I'm sorry, 7 plus 4. It's 11, right? And I only want to go to 13, so that's going to be too many. This is a good place to go ahead and pause the video and see if you can come up with the 3 balloon colors that add to 13. Then let's go ahead and do your exit ticket. It says, use the numbers on the tiles to complete the sentences about the picture graph. So this picture graph is about the number of pets. Notice that each diamond stands for 1 pet. So Scott has 3 pets. Andre only has 1. And Maddie has 2. So Scott has blank pets. Let's look at Scott. What number from the tile here are we going to put right here? How many pets does Scott have? If you said 3, you are correct. Let's go ahead and write it in there. Andre has blank fewer pets than Scott. How many fewer? So we're going to go compare Andre's number of pets to Scott's. How many fewer does he have? If Scott has 3 and Andre has 1. How many fewer does he have? Can you count the empty spots there? If you said 2, you are correct. And the last one, Maddie and Scott have blank more pets than Andre. Okay, so I'm thinking here. So Maddie and Scott have blank more pets than Andre. So we probably have to add Maddie and Scott. So that's 3 plus 2. Well, that's 5, right? And Andre only has 1. So how many more? Did you hear my words? How many more? That means subtract, right? Do Maddie and Scott have than Andre? And if you said 4, you are correct. I hope that helps get you through lesson 10.2. Remember, there is not going to be a video for the practice and homework 10.2. This is your chance to have more practice and try on your own. Again, don't hesitate to let us know if you have any questions.